Have you ever noticed how some men in their 70s and 80s still exude vitality, sharp minds, active bodies, and an undeniable zest for life, while others seem to fade, becoming mere shadows of their former selves? What if I told you that one of the most overlooked factors in this stark contrast is something rarely discussed openly: their relationship with self-pleasure? Yes, masturbation. That topic that makes so many men of your generation shift uncomfortably in their seats could be a critical key to how well you age. Groundbreaking medical research is uncovering surprising links between regular sexual activity, including self-pleasure, and overall health for men in their golden years. For too many men over 55, sexual pleasure becomes a distant memory, a closed chapter, a locked door, dismissed due to physical changes, societal norms, or shifts in relationships. Perhaps you've felt your own desire waning, struggled with maintaining an erection, or even internalized the belief that self-pleasure is somehow inappropriate at your age. Maybe society has subtly suggested that sexuality has an expiration date, or worse, that continuing to embrace this part of yourself is something to be ashamed of. But withdrawing from sexual expression isn't just about missing out on pleasure. It's about disconnecting from a fundamental life force, and that disconnection has far-reaching consequences. When men abandon sexual expression, including masturbation, they often experience a faster decline in cognitive function, a weakened immune system, and an increased risk of cardiovascular issues. The hormonal benefits of regular sexual activity, boosting testosterone, oxytocin, and endorphins, are essential for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, and mental health. Even more concerning, withdrawing from this natural source of joy and connection can lead to depression, isolation, and a loss of purpose. What many men don't realize is that by giving up this vital aspect of themselves, they may be unknowingly accelerating their own aging process. But what if reclaiming it could be the key to not just living longer, but living better? Here's something most healthcare providers won't tell you outright. Reclaiming your relationship with self-pleasure, at any age, can actually help reverse many of the negative effects of aging. Regular masturbation isn't just about fleeting pleasure, it's a powerful act of self-care. It increases blood flow throughout your body, including your brain and vital organs, keeping them nourished and functioning optimally. It helps maintain neural pathways linked to pleasure and satisfaction, promotes hormonal balance, and strengthens the muscles essential for urinary and sexual health. Most importantly, it reconnects you with your body in a positive, affirming way, at a stage in life when many men feel increasingly disconnected from their physical selves. What's most surprising? The benefits of regular self-pleasure for older men remain one of medicine's best-kept secrets. Despite growing scientific evidence, this topic is rarely discussed. Why? Because a mix of cultural taboos, blind spots in healthcare, and persistent myths about aging and sexuality keep this vital information hidden from men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. But here's the truth. There's a revolutionary approach to male sexual health in later years, one that challenges everything you've been led to believe. This perspective treats sexual expression not as an indulgence, but as an essential part of a holistic health routine, especially as you age. I invite you to stay with me as we dive into this neglected yet crucial aspect of male health and longevity. By the end of this video, I'll share a comprehensive guide designed specifically for men over 55. This guide will show you how to safely and comfortably incorporate self-pleasure into your wellness routine, regardless of your current health status or relationship situation. Because this isn't just about pleasure, it's about reclaiming a powerful tool for extending your healthy years, preserving your vitality, and truly living. So for the next few minutes, keep an open mind. What you learned today could transform the way you experience aging, adding life to your years, not just years to your life. The main reason many men abandon self-pleasure as they age isn't physical limitation, It's a deep misunderstanding of sexual health in later life. Contrary to the persistent myth that sexual desire naturally fades away with age, medical science tells a different story. While the ways in which we express our sexuality may evolve over time, the need for physical pleasure and intimate connection remains hardwired into our biology for life. The real culprit behind sexual withdrawal isn't aging itself. It's a toxic mix of misinformation, cultural taboos, and healthcare systems that rarely address male sexuality beyond reproductive function or erectile dysfunction treatments. This dangerous knowledge gap leaves men believing that their sexual selves must simply be surrendered to time. This misunderstanding manifests in several ways. Many older men mistakenly assume that a decrease in spontaneous arousal or changes in erection quality mean they should abandon sexual activity altogether. Others carry decades of religious or cultural conditioning that frames self-pleasure as shameful or inappropriate, particularly in later years. Some even believe the outdated notion that conserving sexual energy will preserve vitality, when in reality science suggests the exact opposite. But perhaps the most harmful misconception of all is the belief that sexual health is separate from overall well-being. In truth, these systems are deeply intertwined, influencing each other profoundly throughout life. Think of your sexuality as a finely tuned musical instrument. It requires regular playing to stay in harmony. Just as an unused piano develops stiff keys, diminished resonance, and deteriorating inner mechanisms, your sexual physiology responds similarly to neglect. The smooth muscles of the penis, the vascular pathways that enable blood flow, the neural connections that process pleasure, and the hormonal systems that regulate desire all require consistent activation to function optimally. When left unused for long periods, they don't just pause, they begin to atrophy, a process that becomes increasingly difficult to reverse over time. Of course, misinformation isn't the only factor at play. Physical changes such as lower testosterone levels, medication side effects, chronic health conditions, and shifts in relationships all contribute to changes in sexual expression with age. Psychological factors, including performance anxiety, depression, grief after losing a partner, or even the adjustment to retirement, can further complicate a man's relationship with his sexuality. Environmental influences, such as living with family members or in assisted living facilities, may create privacy concerns that discourage sexual expression. These factors combine into a web of challenges that can feel overwhelming without the right knowledge and support. But here's the good news. These challenges are largely addressable. Your capacity for sexual pleasure doesn't have an expiration date. The male body retains its ability to experience sexual fulfillment well into the 80s, 90s, and beyond, though sometimes in different ways than in youth. Thanks to the adaptability of the human nervous system, new pathways for pleasure can be developed, even as others shift over time. With the right techniques, adaptations, and sometimes medical support, men can maintain or reclaim this vital aspect of their humanity, reaping immense benefits for overall health and longevity in the process. For many men, this knowledge represents a profound paradigm shift. Instead of resigning themselves to a pleasure-free existence in later years, they can view sexual wellness as something within their control, an essential and modifiable factor in their long-term well-being. Rather than accepting diminished pleasure as an unavoidable consequence of aging, consider it a door that has never truly closed, one that can be reopened with the right understanding and approach. Reclaiming this part of yourself starts with a simple but powerful realization. Your sexuality remains a vital part of your health and identity, no matter your age. The first step in reclaiming this vital aspect of your health begins with a shift in mindset. Recognizing that self-pleasure isn't just acceptable as you age, but profoundly beneficial. This mental reframing is a powerful form of medicine in itself. Rather than viewing masturbation as a lesser substitute for partnered sex or something inappropriate for your age, start seeing it as an essential act of self-care, just like exercise, a balanced diet, or good sleep. This shift requires challenging and dismantling outdated beliefs you may have internalized over the years. Begin by acknowledging that your body remains worthy of pleasure, and that maintaining sexual function is not a frivolous indulgence, but a legitimate health priority. The benefits of this new perspective extend far beyond the psychological. Regular self-stimulation increases blood flow to the genital region, helping to maintain erectile tissue health and urinary function. Research has shown that men who ejaculate more frequently throughout their lives have a lower risk of prostate cancer, with some studies suggesting that ejaculating 21 times or more per month provides optimal protective benefits. But the advantages don't stop there. The hormonal cascade triggered by arousal and orgasm reduces stress, improves sleep quality, and acts as a natural pain reliever through endorphin release. Sexual activity also engages multiple brain regions, keeping neural pathways active and potentially offering protection against cognitive decline. These physiological effects work together to create a powerful cycle of improved overall health. Incorporating this practice into your routine doesn't have to be complicated. Start small. Create a private, comfortable space where you can explore without fear of interruption. Schedule time for this exploration when you feel energized and unrushed, treating it as an important appointment with yourself. Focus on sensation rather than goal-driven arousal or orgasm. Rediscover your body with curiosity instead of judgment, noting how your responses may have changed over time. Use plenty of lubricant. Natural lubrication decreases with age, and upgrading to a high-quality skin-sensitive lubricant can make a dramatic difference in comfort and pleasure. Science is increasingly supporting this approach. A longitudinal study from the University of Finland followed men aged 55 to 75 for 5 years and found that those who maintained regular sexual activity, including masturbation, had significantly lower rates of cardiovascular disease and performed better on cognitive tests compared to their non-sexually active peers. The takeaway: prioritizing this aspect of your well-being isn't just about pleasure, it's about longevity, vitality, and reclaiming an essential part of yourself. Research from the University of California suggests that regular sexual activity stimulates the production of neurohormones that protect brain tissue and enhance neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to adapt and stay sharp. A 2019 review in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that maintaining an active sexual life in later years is linked to reduced all-cause mortality, stronger immune function, and better management of age-related health conditions, independent of other lifestyle factors like exercise or social engagement. Now imagine waking up feeling revitalized, more connected to your body rather than at odds with it. Picture the satisfaction of maintaining this fundamental part of your identity instead of surrendering it to time. Consider how reclaiming your sexual vitality could boost your mood, confidence, and overall well-being. For many men who embrace this approach, the benefits extend far beyond the physical. They report feeling more engaged with life, more optimistic about the future, and more in tune with themselves. This renewed relationship with pleasure often acts as a catalyst for positive change, inspiring better self-care in areas like nutrition, exercise, and social connection. This isn't about striving for perfection or recreating the sexual experiences of youth. Instead, it's about developing a new, fulfilling relationship with pleasure, one that respects your current body and life circumstances. Many men find that letting go of performance pressure and focusing on mindful enjoyment transforms what may have become a source of frustration into a reliable, enriching experience. Like any aspect of health, progress may be gradual and setbacks are normal, but those who commit to this journey consistently report remarkable results, often restoring a vital dimension of life they had prematurely surrendered. Beyond mindset shifts and basic practices, another key to sustaining sexual wellness in later years is adapting techniques to accommodate the natural changes in your body. This isn't about resisting aging. It's about working in harmony with your evolving physiology. The mature male body responds differently than in youth, often requiring more direct stimulation, longer arousal periods, a variety of touch techniques. Rather than viewing these shifts as dysfunction, it's more helpful to recognize them as natural transitions that simply call for adjustment. By developing a personalized approach tailored to your body's current needs, you can replace frustration with satisfaction and rediscover pleasure you may have thought was lost. Implementing an adaptive approach can reduce anxiety, enhance confidence, and support sexual function well into later years. Some key strategies include enhanced lubrication. Silicone-based lubricants provide superior comfort for aging skin, while warming lubricants can boost sensitivity for those experiencing decreased sensation. Alternative stimulation methods. Vibrating devices designed for men can be game changers, particularly if arthritis or reduced dexterity makes manual stimulation difficult. Optimized positioning. Experiment with reclining positions that reduce strain on the back and hips while maximizing blood flow to the genital area. Breath control for enhanced sensation. Practice slow, deep breaths during arousal and transition to shorter breaths as pleasure intensifies to deepen relaxation and amplify sensation. By adapting to your body's needs rather than resisting change, you create a positive feedback loop that preserves sexual function, boosts confidence, and fosters a deeper connection with your body. The use it or lose it principle applies not just to muscles and mental sharpness, but to your capacity for pleasure and intimacy. The key takeaway: your ability to experience sexual fulfillment doesn't have an expiration date. With the right mindset and techniques, you can continue to enjoy this vital part of life for decades to come. Research from leading sexual health clinics specializing in older adults underscores the effectiveness of these adaptive approaches. A groundbreaking clinical study from the Masters and Johnson Institute revealed that men who adopted age-appropriate self-stimulation techniques reported a 78% increase in satisfaction with their sexual lives, alongside measurable improvements in erectile function, all without medication. Similarly, a study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research demonstrated that regular adapted self-stimulation significantly enhances penile sensitivity, offering renewed sensation for men experiencing diminished response. Meanwhile, a 2020 study from the University of Sydney found that older men incorporating vibrating devices into their self-pleasure routines reported stronger spontaneous erections and higher quality of life scores compared to non-users. This holistic approach moves beyond simply treating dysfunction. It acknowledges the whole person, recognizing that sexual well-being is not just about achieving erections, but maintaining a fulfilling, evolving connection to pleasure. While erectile medications play an important role, many men discover that these adaptive techniques reduce or even eliminate their dependence on pharmaceuticals by directly addressing underlying issues like blood flow, muscle tone, and neural pathway health. For those who do use medication, these techniques can enhance its effectiveness, creating a synergy that isolated medical interventions often fail to achieve. By embracing both the physical and psychological dimensions of sexual health, men cultivate a sustainable, adaptable practice that grows with them over time. Many who implement this comprehensive approach report feeling more connected to sensation, experiencing greater pleasure, and freeing themselves from the performance pressures that often dominated their younger years. Instead of seeing aging as a decline, they discover a new, richer dimension of sexuality, one defined by presence, patience, and deepened enjoyment, rather than the rigid expectations of the past. One of the biggest obstacles older men face in reclaiming sexual wellness is the all-or-nothing mindset, the expectation that every session should result in firm erections and intense orgasms, just as it did in youth. When reality falls short, many abandon the practice entirely. But this perfectionist approach creates unnecessary performance pressure, triggering stress hormones that actively inhibit arousal and pleasure. The body perceives pressure as a threat, leading to constricted blood vessels and tense muscles, the exact opposite of what fosters sexual response. Instead, the key is to adopt a process-oriented mindset, one that values sensation, relaxation, and exploration over rigid performance goals. Success is not defined by a specific outcome, but by engaging in the practice itself. When approached this way, pleasure naturally unfolds, deepening the connection to one's own body and opening the door to a more fulfilling, pressure-free experience of sexuality that evolves beautifully over time. One of the biggest mistakes men make when reclaiming their sexual wellness is treating self-pleasure as an occasional indulgence rather than an essential part of overall health. Inconsistent practice leads to diminished penile sensitivity, weakened muscle groups, and reduced blood flow, all of which contribute to declining function. Additionally, the hormonal benefits of regular sexual activity, such as testosterone maintenance and stress reduction, only manifest with consistent engagement. To support optimal physiological health, a structured routine of 2 to 3 sessions per week is ideal, much like regular exercise preserves muscle strength even when motivation fluctuates. Another major pitfall is excessive focus on genital response while neglecting the body's full sensory potential. Many men develop a rigid, goal-oriented mindset that prioritizes erections above all else, missing out on the vast network of pleasure pathways that extend beyond the genitals. By expanding awareness to include areas like the inner thighs, lower abdomen, perineum, and nipples, men can heighten arousal, reduce performance pressure, and improve overall sexual response. This whole-body approach activates more neural pathways, increasing overall pleasure while indirectly enhancing erectile function over time. Rushing the process is another common mistake that undermines pleasure. Many men approach self-pleasure with a task-oriented mindset, expecting rapid arousal and immediate climax. However, older bodies typically require more time to build arousal, and when rushed, frustration sets in, creating a negative feedback loop that inhibits relaxation and blood flow. The key is patience. Allowing 30 to 45 minutes per session provides time for arousal to develop naturally and consistently, leading to stronger and more satisfying experiences than hurried attempts. Perhaps the most damaging mistake of all is associating self-pleasure with shame or embarrassment. When men feel guilt about their sexual expression, the body responds with tension, restricted breathing, and inhibited arousal, making pleasure nearly impossible. Psychological stress creates physical resistance, reinforcing negative emotions and making sexual experiences less fulfilling. To break this cycle, it's essential to reframe self-pleasure as a legitimate, medically supported component of men's health. Writing down and regularly reviewing the proven benefits of sexual expression can help reinforce its importance, much like exercise or medical checkups. Scheduling dedicated self-care time can further affirm its value as part of an intentional wellness practice. By avoiding these common pitfalls, men can unlock a new level of sexual confidence, resilience, and fulfillment. Lifelong sexual wellness is not reserved for those with perfect health. It belongs to those who approach change with flexibility, patience, and self-compassion. Each positive experience builds on the next, creating an upward spiral of renewed pleasure and function. With the right mindset and practices, sexual vitality remains within reach, no matter your starting point. Let me share with you the complete restoration method, a systematic approach specifically designed for men over 55 to reestablish and maintain sexual wellness through mindful self-pleasure. This isn't a quick fix, but a comprehensive wellness practice that addresses both the physical and psychological aspects of male sexuality in later years. Developed through consultation with urologists, sexual health therapists, and feedback from hundreds of men who have successfully navigated these changes, this method integrates traditional knowledge with modern medical understanding of male sexual physiology. Unlike generic advice that doesn't account for age-related changes, each component of this approach targets the specific challenges encountered by men in their sixth decade and beyond. The origins of this method trace back to pioneering work in sexual health rehabilitation following prostate surgery, where researchers discovered that regular, appropriate sexual stimulation significantly improved recovery rates and maintained function. These principles were later expanded through research at sexual wellness clinics specializing in aging populations, where therapeutic approaches to maintaining sexual function without medication showed remarkable success. What makes this method particularly valuable is that it was refined through real-world application, with men facing various health conditions, including heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and medication side effects, proving its adaptability to diverse circumstances. The core insight driving this approach is that sexual function follows the principle of neuroplasticity. The brain and body maintain and strengthen pathways that are regularly activated. The restoration method unfolds in 5 sequential steps, ideally practiced 2 to 3 times weekly. The preparation phase, 5 to 10 minutes. Create a comfortable, private environment with an appropriate temperature, supportive positioning with pillows if needed, and elimination of distractions. Apply a quarter-sized amount of high-quality lubricant to your hands to warm it before beginning. The relaxation phase, 5 to 10 minutes. Focus on deep breathing and progressive muscle relaxation, starting with 10 slow breaths while consciously releasing tension throughout your body. The awakening phase, 10 to 15 minutes. Explore non-genital pleasure through gentle touch to the inner thighs, lower abdomen, chest, and other sensitive areas, gradually building awareness of sensation without goal-oriented thinking. The focused stimulation phase, 10 to 15 minutes. Introduce direct touch using 3 specific techniques: the encompassing palm method. The lubricated palm encircles the penis with gentle pressure and slow, full-length movements. The gland circulation technique. 2 fingers make small circular motions around the head of the penis with slightly firmer pressure. The root strengthening approach. Moderate pressure and massage are applied to the base of the penis and perineum area to stimulate blood flow and strengthen pelvic floor connections. Regardless of the state of erection, maintain these movements with attention to any pleasurable sensations rather than focusing on rigid expectations of response. The integration phase, 5 minutes. Practice mindful awareness of sensations throughout your body. Consciously appreciate the experience regardless of specific outcomes, and take a few moments to acknowledge the health benefits of the practice you've completed. For optimal results, attention to timing and frequency is essential. The ideal practice schedule for most men over 55 is 3 sessions per week, preferably spaced evenly throughout the week to maintain consistent circulation and hormonal benefits. The best timing for these sessions is typically mid-morning, between 9 and 11 a.m., when testosterone levels are naturally higher for most men, or early evening, 5 to 7 p.m., if mornings aren't convenient. Avoid sessions when extremely tired, immediately after large meals, or when time pressured. If you're taking ED medications, schedule sessions to align with peak effectiveness times. For men with cardiovascular concerns, avoid practicing shortly after physical exertion when the heart is already working harder. Those with arthritis may benefit from scheduling sessions after warm showers or light movement when joints are most flexible. I recommend implementing this method progressively over 3 weeks for sustainable integration. Week 1. Practice only the first 3 phases: preparation, relaxation, and awakening, without genital touch, focusing on rebuilding body awareness and positive associations. Week 2. Add the focused stimulation phase with gentle pressure and without outcome expectations, maintaining a curious, exploratory attitude. Week 3. Implement the complete 5-phase practice, gradually extending time in the areas you find most beneficial. Track your experiences in a private wellness journal, noting changes in sensation, response, mood, and overall well-being. Many men report noticeable improvements in sensitivity and response within 4 to 6 weeks of consistent practice, with additional benefits to sleep quality, mood, and energy levels often appearing even sooner. Let's take a moment to review what we've covered. On our journey toward reclaiming sexual wellness in later life, we've discovered that maintaining sexual expression through appropriate self-pleasure isn't just about momentary enjoyment. It represents a critical component of complete health for men over 55. We've explored how the mind-body connection influences sexual wellness, identified and addressed common misconceptions that lead men to prematurely abandon this aspect of their lives, and developed practical strategies for working with your changing body rather than against it. We've examined the common mistakes that derail progress and outlined a comprehensive, step-by-step method designed specifically for the mature male body. This knowledge forms a complete framework for maintaining or restoring this vital aspect of your health and identity. The benefits of implementing these practices extend far beyond the bedroom. Short-term, many men report improved mood, reduced stress levels, and better sleep quality within the first few weeks of regular practice. The hormonal benefits of sexual expression, including endorphin and oxytocin release, create noticeable improvements in outlook and emotional stability. Medium term, 2 to 3 months. Most men experience improved circulation to the genital area, enhanced sensitivity, more reliable arousal, and stronger pelvic floor muscles that support both sexual and urinary function. Many report reduced dependence on erectile medications or enhanced effectiveness when medications are used. Long-term, 1+ year. Documented benefits include significantly lower rates of prostate issues, improved cognitive function, better cardiovascular health markers, and maintenance of muscle mass and bone density through hormonal optimization. Imagine waking up 6 months from now with a renewed sense of vitality, feeling reconnected to a part of yourself you feared was lost forever. Picture the confidence that comes from knowing you've taken control of this aspect of your health rather than surrendering to decline. Consider how this reclamation might positively influence your intimate relationships, whether with a current partner or potential future connections. Envision the pride in maintaining your complete health through knowledge and self-care, rather than resignation. Many men who successfully implement these practices describe a profound shift in their overall relationship with aging, moving from a mindset of inevitable decline to one of adaptation and continued growth. This renewed relationship with your body often catalyzes positive changes in other areas, inspiring improved nutrition, increased physical activity, and greater social engagement. Remember, this transformation is a journey, not a destination. Like any meaningful health practice, it requires patience, consistency, and a willingness to adapt as your body continues to change. You're not alone in this process. Millions of men are navigating the same changes, though few discuss them openly. The silence surrounding male sexuality in later years creates the illusion that your experience is unique when, in reality, these changes are universal aspects of the male aging process. Consider joining online communities or discussion groups where men share their experiences and strategies for maintaining sexual wellness throughout life. I encourage you to commit to this aspect of your health with the same seriousness you give to managing your blood pressure, heart health, or diabetes prevention. Sexual wellness deserves equal priority in your health maintenance plan, not despite your age, but because of it. Make a commitment to implementing the restoration method for at least 90 days, providing sufficient time to experience meaningful benefits. Schedule these sessions in your calendar as non-negotiable appointments with yourself, just as you would any other important health intervention. With consistent practice and the knowledge you now possess, you have everything needed to restore and maintain this fundamental aspect of your well-being, enhancing not just your longevity but your experience of being fully alive in every moment.